Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India celebrates its 75th Republic Day. President Emmanuel Macron of France is the chief guest. A French marching contingent and 3 French Air and Space Force jets take part in a flypast. India and France agree on a roadmap for defense industrial production, ink pacts on space cooperation, satellite launches and clean energy. 2026 to be celebrated as the India-France Year of Innovation. And India's ambassador to France says French aircraft manufacturer Safran is willing to share technology to make fighter jet engines in India. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic's unbeaten streak at the Australian Open ends. Italy's Yannick Sinner knocks out the world #1 in a semi-final. India celebrates its 75th Republic Day on Friday. The country's President Draupadi Murmu commenced these celebrations by unfurling the national flag at Kartavya Path in New Delhi. President Emmanuel Macron of France was the chief guest at the Republic Day celebrations. This was followed by the national anthem and a 21-gun salute. The gunners of Field Battery Ceremonial presented the traditional 21-gun salute with the indigenous 105mm Indian field guns. A video was shared on social media by the Indian Army. The Republic Day parade commenced with multiple military contingents marching down Kartavya Path. The army marching contingents included the Madras Regiment, the Grenadiers, Rajputana Rifles, Sikh Regiment and the Kumaon Regiment. The first army contingent leading the mechanized column was the 61st Cavalry, led by Major Yashdeep Elawat, followed by 11 mechanized columns, 12 marching contingents, and a flypast by advanced light helicopters of the Army Aviation Corps. Kartavya Path witnessed a march past by a combined band and marching contingent of the French Armed Forces.
Gallantry Award winners, we have a very special marching contingent and band from France. The band is...
A 30-member band contingent was headed by Captain Khurda, followed by a 90-member marching contingent led by Captain Noel.
Playing the Legion's anthem called La Boudin. And close behind them, we have the 2nd Foreign Infantry Regiment. The marching contingent comprising 90 Legionnaires led by Captain Noel. The Legionnaires wear the famous white cap, which can be worn only by Legionnaires who have successfully been through 4 months of hard selection tests, and the best Legionnaires get promoted and wear the black cap you can see in the first row.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi welcomed President Draupadi Murmu and French President Emmanuel Macron at Kartavya Path, who were escorted by the President's bodyguard. And French President Emmanuel Macron greeted the people of India on Republic Day. In a tweet, he shared an image with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and wrote, My dear friend Narendra Modi, Indian people, my warmest wishes on your Republic Day. Happy and proud to be with you. Let's celebrate. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron met on Thursday in the western city of Jaipur. Briefing journalists in New Delhi, India's Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Kwatra said India and France agreed to adopt a defence industrial production roadmap. The roadmap will focus on identifying opportunities for partnerships that prioritize co-design, co-development and co-production.
These are the documents which have been agreed upon. Roadmap on the India-France defence industrial roadmap, actually. 2, an agreement on defence space partnership. 3, an MOU between New Space India Limited, NSIL, and Ariane Space with regard to satellite launches. Industrial partnership between Tata and Airbus helicopters for production of H-125 helicopters with a significant indigenous and localization component. Agreement between Department of Science and Technology, 2 agreements actually, and the counterpart French institutions with regard to joint research in clean energy, mainly decarbonized hydrogen, applied mathematics, digital technologies, and precision agriculture. Also, an agreement between 2 ministries of health on healthcare cooperation, education, training, and research. This would include the space of digital health and use of artificial intelligence in the healthcare sector.
Both the leaders also spoke about developments in the Red Sea, noting that disruptions to commercial shipping is a matter of serious concern.
With regard to developments in the Red Sea, naturally the disruptions, the potential disruption and the actual things happening in the maritime domain there, which is causing disruption to the commercial shipping, indeed is a matter of serious concern, and the both leaders focused on it.
India's ambassador to France, Javed Ashraf, said that French company Safran is willing to collaborate and share its technology to make fighter jet engines in India.
This always features in the conversation between the President and the Prime Minister, because what we are looking for is not just a manufacturing transfer of technology, which is essentially keeps you going with the same crutches that you have been going on for the last 6 decades, but to work in the actual design phase, metallurgical aspects, etc. So Safran is fully willing to do it with 100% transfer of technology, 100% transfer of technology in design, development, certification, production, and so on and so forth. But it's obviously a very complex subject, and it has to fit in with the overall future requirements. So these discussions will continue to take place, and that's also part of the defense industrial roadmap.
French President Emmanuel Macron, who is on a 2-day visit to India, announced a series of measures to ensure that more Indian students study in France. He says that France is targeting 30,000 students by the year 2030. He said that international classes will be set up for students who do not speak French. Attempts will also be made to teach students French in public schools and facilitate visas for Indian students. Moving on, the Indo-Tibetan Border Police personnel posted in snowbound areas along the India-China border extended their greetings to their compatriots on the 75th Republic Day. The Indian diaspora in China participated in the 75th Republic Day celebrations. Despite cold weather, they attended an event organized by the Embassy of India in Beijing. The 75th Republic Day of India was celebrated at the Embassy of India in Kathmandu, Nepal. The celebrations began with the unfurling of India's national flag by Ambassador Naveen Srivastav. He conveyed his greetings to the Indian diaspora. The embassy unveiled a magazine covering India's welfare initiatives for ex-servicemen domiciled in Nepal. 75th Republic Day of India was celebrated at Dhaka in Bangladesh with enthusiasm and patriotic fervour at the High Commission of India. The Indian community took part in large numbers in the celebrations held at the Chancery building. The High Commissioner welcomed the Indian community and greeted them on the occasion. It was followed by patriotic songs performed by members of the Indian community in Dhaka. Earlier on Wednesday, the High Commissioner of India in Bangladesh held a grand reception at the International Convention Centre to mark the 75th Republic Day celebrations. The 75th Republic Day of India resonated with enthusiasm and patriotic fervour across the United Arab Emirates as the Indian community came together for grand celebrations at the country's diplomatic missions. Members of the Indian community participated in large numbers at the embassy in Abu Dhabi and consulate in Dubai. The celebrations featured a range of cultural performances. The Indian Consulate General in the Saudi Arabian city of Jeddah celebrated 75th Republic Day of India with great patriotic fervour and enthusiasm, marking the day by featuring the spectacular cultural pageantry. The Consul General unfurled the tricolour and read excerpts from the address by the President of India. With temperatures as low as minus 31 degrees Celsius, the Indian flag flew high at the Embassy of India in Mongolia. The High Commissioner of India in Maldives celebrated Republic Day. The High Commissioner extended his warm greetings on the occasion. The British High Commission in India shared its greetings from King Charles III on India's Republic Day. In a message, King Charles said that he cherishes the bond shared between both nations and he wished that the diplomatic ties continue to flourish in coming years. Still to come on DD India Live. The United Nations Security Council meets at Moscow's request, discusses the downing of a Russian aircraft. And US Secretary of State Antony Blinken welcomes the progress on construction of the Lobito corridor, which links the resource-rich Democratic Republic of Congo to Zambia via the port of Lobito in Angola.
Celebrates its 75th Republic Day, we embark on a journey through time, capturing India's progress from the discovery of zero to its incredible modern-day achievements. Watch the story of India's resilience, progress and innovation, the story of a self-reliant India. Connecting the dots with me every Friday at 8 p.m. IST on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. Let me now bring you up to speed on the Ukraine-Russia conflict. At Moscow's request, the United Nations Security Council met on Thursday to discuss the downing of a Russian plane. UN Political Affairs Chief Rosemary DiCarlo said that the UN was not in a position to verify the circumstances of the crash. A senior Russian lawmaker said that the Ukrainian military intelligence had been given a 15-minute warning before the plane entered the area. Meanwhile, Ukraine denied it was given any warning.
We understand both Russia and Ukraine are conducting separate investigations into the incident, and Ukraine has called for an international probe. The United Nations is not in a position to verify these reports or the circumstances of the crash. What is clear is that the incident took place in the context of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and ongoing war. To avoid further escalation, we urge all concerned to refrain from actions, rhetoric, or allegations that could further fuel the already dangerous conflict.
Israel's forces continue to engage in battles in the heart of Khan Yunis in Gaza. The Israeli army said that its forces struck dozens of Hamas fighters and infrastructure from the air and ground. Its troops also fired at Hamas targets in northern Gaza. The fighting comes as Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed that the country will eliminate the Hamas.
Today, we are planting trees in the blood and sorrow-soaked ground, living trees in their memory. Hamas came to support us. We will uproot them. Hamas came to wipe us. We will wipe them out. Total victory means eliminating Hamas and returning all our hostages. We will not give in on this goal.
The US and China are set to discuss Taiwan at the upcoming meeting between US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Bangkok. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said that the duo will discuss bilateral relations and issues of common interest. The high-level meet comes over 2 months after US President Joe Biden and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping met on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in the US city of San Francisco.
The strategic communication between Director Wang Yi and Assistant Sullivan is an important consensus reached by the heads of the state of China and the United States. In the new round of meetings, Director Wang Yi will state China's position on China-US relations and the Taiwan issue, and exchange views with the United States on international and regional issues of common interest.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, during a visit to Angola on Thursday, hailed the progress in the construction of the Lobito Corridor. It's a rail link that's key to metals exports from the Central African Copper Belt. The U.S. has been supporting the project that links resource-rich Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia to the port of Lobito in Angola. The corridor aims to bypass logistics bottlenecks in South Africa that have held up exports of copper and cobalt. The U.S. has committed funding to refurbish the existing 1,300-kilometer rail line and has taken the first steps to build out another 800 kilometers. U.S. President Joe Biden and his Treasury chief touted the country's robust 2023 economic performance. The stronger-than-expected growth offering a boost as the Democratic incumbent revs up his re-election campaign. President Biden referred to data released earlier on Thursday that showed the U.S. economy fueled by a resilient jobs market and consumer spending grew at an annualized rate of 3.3% in the October to December period. Thousands of Australians gathered in state capitals on Friday to celebrate Australia's National Day. Many people celebrate the holiday with barbecues and trips to the beach, and it's also a popular date for immigrants to receive their Australian citizenship. Australia Day commemorates the day Britain established the state of New South Wales as a penal colony. Addressing people, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said Australia Day is their chance to pause and reflect on everything that they have achieved as a nation.
Australia Day is our chance to pause and reflect on everything that we have achieved as a nation, everything that we have created and built and learned through all the ups and downs of our history, the mighty challenges we have faced, the profound opportunities we have seized, the stern tests we have passed together, everything that has made us who we are as a people.
The day was marked by protests, though, across the country, with thousands marching in solidarity with Indigenous Australians and calling to change the date, which marks the start of injustices suffered by Indigenous Australians since the colonisation. Rallies were taken out in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Hobart, besides other major cities. Foreign ministers of Venezuela and Guyana met in Brazil to discuss their dispute over the oil-rich Essequibo region. They agreed to refrain from using violence or making threats in relation to the dispute. This came about after President Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela resurrected his claims to an oil-rich area on their shared borders. During a press conference, Venezuela's Foreign Minister Juan Gil said that they agreed to continue contacts through diplomatic channels.
The government of President Nicolas Maduro Muro is fully committed to seeking alternatives that will allow us to reach a mutually acceptable solution to the dispute or controversy that we have in Guyana Essequibo.
For his part, Guyana's Foreign Minister Hugh Todd said that his nation was committed to allowing the International Court of Justice to offer a solution on the dispute.
For us, it is final, complete and perfect, but of course, we are committed to the process which would allow for the International Court of Justice to deliberate on the case and to provide a judgment which we, Guyana, have already committed that we will honor.
At least 30 people have been killed and several injured in Nigeria's Central Plateau state in a series of attacks around the town of Mangu. This despite a curfew imposed by the state government. Survivors reported that the gunmen randomly opened fire on people, including women and children, and set fire to homes and property. The latest violence on Wednesday came after a Christmas Day attack in the area, which left at least 140 people dead. A dusk to dawn curfew was imposed on 23rd January. The latest attacks come amid escalating violence in the Plateau region, which has witnessed frequent clashes between herders and local communities. Mali's military rulers have announced an end to a 2015 Algiers peace deal signed with separatist groups in the country's north. The end of the peace deal was announced late on Thursday. The junta blamed the change in posture of certain signatory groups and acts of hostility by the lead mediator Algeria, as per Mali government spokesperson Colonel Abdoulaye Maiga, on ending a deal considered essential in maintaining stability in a country rocked by violence since the year 2012. The U.S. state of Alabama executed a convicted murderer, Kenneth Smith, using nitrogen gas. It was the first time this method of capital punishment has been used anywhere in the world. Alabama said that the method is painless and that Smith should lose consciousness within a minute or two and die soon thereafter. Smith was convicted of murdering Elizabeth Sennett, a preacher's wife, after he and an accomplice each accepted $1,000 from her husband to kill her. The United Nations Human Rights Chief on Friday condemned the execution. U.S. space agency NASA announced on Thursday that its miniature robot helicopter Ingenuity can no longer fly because of rotor blade damage. On 18th January, on its final journey, the craft was flying about 3 feet above the ground as it descended to land when it lost contact with Perseverance, the rover from which Ingenuity deployed in the year 2021. Unseasonal spring heat has swept through Spain and Portugal, causing people in Madrid and Lisbon to sit in outdoor cafes in 18 degrees Celsius. Scientists have linked the searing temperatures and dry and windy conditions to climate change. Last year was the second warmest on record in Spain, only surpassed by 2022. Chile continues to battle wildfires that have destroyed more than 90 hectares. Firefighters have been trying to prevent the fires from spreading to residential areas. A red alert has been issued and nearly 25 homes were evacuated as a precaution. To sports now, Novak Djokovic lost at the Australian Open for the first time since 2018 as Italian fourth seed Jannik Sinner reached his first Grand Slam final. Serbia's Djokovic lost 6-1, 6-2, 6-7, 6-3 as Sinner regrouped from not taking a match point in the tie-break. This ends Djokovic's bid for a record-extending 11th title and a 25th major to put him clear of Margaret Court. 22-year-old Sinner faces Russian third seed Daniil Medvedev or German sixth seed Alexander Zverev in Sunday's final. Former US Open champion Medvedev and Zverev, who is aiming for his first Grand Slam title, meet in Friday's second semi-final at Melbourne Park. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. All of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.